Okay, so before we get into the inside of this makeup bag, I just want to go over the makeup brushes with you quickly. Hi, today I'm here to unpack my makeup bag with you. I got back from, sorry to hit the camera. I got back from vacation a couple of days ago, and now that I feel like I have recovered from the jet lag and all of that, I need to unpack my makeup so that I can get back into the groove of getting dressed with my makeup at my table and stuff. So, wanted to share with you what all I brought with me and what I did and did not use. So, yeah, if you'd like to see what all is in my makeup bags to travel with me, then just keep on watching. All right, so I'm going to zoom you out a bit. Hopefully you can see a little better. Let me start with the brushes. I left the dirty brushes out of this packet here, and it looks like I do need to clean off some of the makeup that got on it, which is fine. All right. So here's my dirty makeup brushes and my clean double-ended brushes, the ones that I didn't actually use. I feel like I'm missing a brush or something somewhere. Anyway. Okay, so I used this little, it's actually like a pencil pouch is how it was sold to, like how it was listed on the website years ago when I bought this limited edition print. I can't remember exactly what year it was. I used to be able to recite all of that stuff when I was super obsessed, but I've since then broken my obsession and addiction. And anyways, these are just a couple of the pieces that remained from my massive collection that I did sell off. Okay, here are the eyeshadow brushes that I took with me. I did not use like even half of these, and I didn't expect to even use most of them, to be honest, but I just wanted to have options in case I did want to. So that's actually a face brush there, but anyways, these are the makeup eyeshadow brushes that I took with me. Let me actually show you one by one which makeup brushes I used, that I took with me, and which ones I actually used. So let me turn on a light, hold on. So real quickly, I'd like to go over the makeup brushes, the eyeshadow, like the face makeup brushes, the eyeshadow makeup brushes, and my makeup bag contents on what it is that I took with me to go on vacation. I am back now and I'm about to unpack my makeup, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to share this with you. So I'm going to start off by showing you which makeup brushes I took with me, and I have some more eyeshadow brushes in here. So I'm going to start off by showing you which makeup brushes I packed up with me to take with me just in case I thought I might need them. And then I'm going to actually show you which brushes I did use and the ones that I didn't. So let's just go over those very quickly. I like to know both about makeup and brushes. Like, I love makeup brushes too. And so I like to share that, my information and opinions on that with you. So okay, let's start with the brushes here, the face brushes. Okay, so I did take the Rose and Ben numbered D1. This is the double-sided face brush. This is like for, I'm sorry that I keep it in the camera. I'm going to try to avoid doing that. This is the double-sided face brush that she came out with, which is great for like powder, blush or bronzer on this side, and then cream blush or bronzer on this side. You can do both actually. You can just like wipe the brush off on a makeup brush, like a makeup eraser or a paper towel in between each use. And you can use this brush for both blush and bronzer, cream and powder. And so the way that you know which side is for powder, in case you're really new with makeup brushes or whatever and you're just not certain, is they're more fluffy. Okay, it's going to be really hard to get a good blend on a cream or liquid product with a real fluffy brush like this. So you're going to want a more dense brush. And the denser the brush, the more it's going to buff it out. So this has enough fluff to leave a lot of the pigment behind for you and enough density to blend it in at the same time without blending it completely away like maybe a foundation brush would. So yeah. I have this brush here from the Belly set that I really like for my cream bronzer, and any of the like videos that I have correlating to, I'm just going to leave my makeup brush playlist down below in the description box as well, so you can peruse through those videos if you're looking for specific information on some of these brushes, because I've done a ton of makeup brush videos for my channel, and so yeah, I'll leave that down below. But anyways, this Belly brush here, like that, sorry for that pause. This Belly brush here that I got in a set from Amazon for really, really, really affordable is very similar to this brush over here, but the one from Belly is a lot denser. So it's not quite as fluffy and light and airy as this one is. This one is denser. So I really like this for my cream bronzer because I use a really, really pigmented deep dark bronzer, and so I really need it to buff it out. And so I like this brush for my cream bronzer, but I do really like this side here for cream blushes. I did not use this brush this time. I'm not going to go on that far for all of them. I do like this brush here for cream bronzer as well. I like to do this side here for my nose contour and this side here for like, you know, the cream bronzer, or you could also do liquid as well. Now this is the Rose and Ben Beauty D2. I also like this brush here for foundation, and you can use this side for concealer. I prefer this brush a little bit more for spot concealing because it's not quite soft enough for me for under my eyes. I have very, very sensitive skin under my eyes, and so this brush is just not quite it for concealer for me. But I have seen some people use this brush, both this one that's on the double-ended one and the version of this that comes as its own like single brush that's got this same head. I have seen people use these brushes as their eyeshadow base brush and their concealer brush for under their eyes, but it's just not soft enough for me for that. But it's very dense, so I feel like in theory it would work really well for that. I did not use this brush this time, but I do love this brush a lot. Okay, so I did use, wait, did I do powder? I did not actually wear powder on the beach. I went with a more glowy vibe since I was in California and doing outside activities in the sunshine. Typically, I don't do that glowy of a makeup look, but I did take with me my new Hourglass double-sided brush. This is basically like a slightly bit more high-end version of the It CC double-ended brush that I love so much. That video on those It CC cosmetic sets of 3 double-sided brushes that I got for $49 at Ulta. They have a new set like that, but in a different color wave that's out currently. So yeah, if you're interested in knowing about that brush set, because maybe you're looking at that Ulta trio, I have that video in my makeup brush playlist that is down below. But anyways, I took this brush with me and I did not use it, but I have used it and I like it. I took this Morphe brush with me and I used this for my cream blush. This is the M204 Cream and Liquid Blush Brush. And again, you can tell that it's for cream and liquid because it's a lot denser. And the shape of it kind of has like a bit of an angle, kind of like this brush, if you can see from the side, just a little bit. Like this rounded side here kind of mimics that little corner right there. And so it's really nice for like a smaller more compact area where I would do blush for me personally. You could also use this for like contouring the cheeks with cream products, cream or liquid. Anyways, I did use this with my cream blush, and I really do like this blush brush a lot. I took with me my Sephora O2 concealer brush. I do use this for concealer often. I also use this for eyeshadow primer. I can prime my eyes with this. It fits really well, and it is soft enough and dense enough to buff it all out. But I didn't do makeup often enough that I needed to use more than the one brush that I did grab for just by happenstance. And so this brush didn't get used this time, but I did wash it so that I could take it with me on the trip because it was dirty and I had used it just before I left. So this is the Sephora O2 concealer. I love this brush. It's really beautiful, beautifully soft and dense. And I love this shape. It fits perfectly in the little corner of the eye. This is the Singe Beauty FO2. This is the concealer brush that I did end up using. Yeah, this is just a slight bit bigger version of the Sephora brush. It's also a little bit more dense and just a slight bit softer too. So when these concealer brushes are lined up, I usually will reach for this one first, and then once that one gets dirty throughout my week, like I'll use it once or twice, then I'll move on to this one. And I do really like this one. This is still very soft. It's soft enough for my eyes. Again, I'm very, very sensitive with my skin underneath my eyes, and so I will struggle with brushes that aren't soft enough for my eye. For example, this is a Joa concealer brush that is meant to be used under the eye, and I can use it. It's actually really soft. I can use it for concealer, or I also like it for eyeshadow primer. I did use it for eye primer this time, but yeah, you can see that these kind of have that same like dense fingertip pad shape where you can use it for concealer or eye base. So anyways, these are both great brushes. I used this one this time because I only did my makeup with concealer once, and I didn't use this one because I didn't do my makeup again. This one I used with eye base once, or actually I think I actually might have not used it for eye base. I helped to blend out the liquid Makeup by Mario cream shadows that I wore the first time that I did makeup. So I used this to blend that liquid shadow out kind of all over as a one and done. And this is the Joa concealer brush. Again, I found this at a CVS, and yeah, so far I've liked the two Joa brushes that I've tried, this one and a blush brush. The blush brush was the first one that I tried, and I loved it so much that it made me want to try another one of their brushes. Anyway, I took with me the Sephora 47 brush that comes in the very first holiday set that I purchased, the piece that now is being sold this season, this year, out in a round makeup tube, like a makeup brush case that you can store the brushes in for travel. The set that I purchased came with a flat standing, like it's a flat thing that holds all the brushes laying down, and then you can like flip the thing back and stand it up for like a working makeup artist and just pull them up out of the container. I personally would prefer a round makeup tube, so I like that they offered that, because the one that they brought these with only holds the makeup brushes that it came with, and the round tube, you can add a lot more eyeshadow brushes in it with the set that you purchase. So I prefer that as a case. So if you're interested in these Sephora collection brushes that are out for sale right now, that they just re-released in that round makeup tube, I would recommend it. And I'll leave my Sephora collection brushes that are in the playlist down below. That makeup brush playlist, just scroll through there if there's any brushes that you're interested in hearing more about. But yeah, I did not end up using the Sephora number 47 this time. I would have used it for foundation, had I brought foundation, but I could have used it for blending out my concealer if I would have used the concealer all over my face, which is what I intended to do if I was going to go for a full bead. And so I brought this brush for that. I also use this brush for cream contour, like for contouring my cheekbones. And I can also use this brush for cream bronzer. It just takes like a little bit more because as you can see, the surface area is just a little bit smaller. So it takes a little bit longer than the other cream bronzer and blush brushes that I like. This is great for cream blush, I was about to say, but like it's just a little bit smaller than my cream bronzer brushes that I prefer. And so yeah, I can use it for cream bronzer like in a pinch if I don't have another brush with it. But I also like to use this for cream blush, as I just mentioned. So yeah, this is the Sephora number 47. It is a foundation brush, and I do also like it for foundation. I didn't use it this time. Okay, and again, this is that belly brush that came in a set from Amazon. It came with like, I think like either 12 or 15, 16 brushes, something like that. I don't really remember. And it was under $20. Like it sells for under $20. I actually got mine for about $16 because it was like on sale during an Amazon Prime Day or something like that. And so I had like an extra discount. But even at the full price that it's selling at now for like around $21, that said, I get a lot of use out of it. And the brushes are just as good as my BK Beauty brushes. And you can kind of see that they look very similar. So it's like a duping the vibe for the BK Beauty brushes, but it's not actually the BK Beauty brushes. However, you know, like they have different shapes than the BK Beauty brushes, like for like slightly here and there. But I really love this belly set, and I have a few of them from the set that have quickly become like top go-to faves. It's specifically this foundation brush. I think it's meant to be the foundation brush, but I like it for my cream bronzer. And this is the concealer brush. I'm assuming it's meant for concealer. This is the Real Techniques brush number 101 from the Cherry collection. I love this brush. It is so soft. This is my softest flat top concealer brush. I love it so, so much. This is great. My dogs are going crazy. This brush is great for blending out your concealer, like underneath the eyes. It's really, really soft and dense enough to buff it out nicely. But it's also great for eyeshadow primer. I like to use this in both of those ways too. And I also like to use it for spot concealing. So yeah, I'm going to be going through these brushes as its own video, like all the brushes that I took with me. And then I'm going to do a separate video for the contents of the makeup, because I feel like this is going to get a very, very long video. And, you know, you can watch them both if you're interested in both of the topics, or you can pick which one you're into if you prefer. So anyways, yeah, I got this in a set of several brushes that came together, and I do really like that set a lot, including the individual one that I purchased. That's the double-ended brush. I almost brought it with me to go out of town, but I didn't. Anyways, I have a video on the Cherries brushes below, and I love that I'm still loving them so much and getting a lot of use out of them. So yeah, this is the brush that I took with me for that. And I think that I also used this to buff out my Makeup by Mario liquid eyeshadow brush because it looks a little dirty. So anyways, yeah. These two double-ended brushes came in a set with one more double-ended brush. That's the brow brush. And I left that one here because I knew I wasn't going to need it since I had my little Morphe one that I will show you once we get into the brushes over there somewhere. It's somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't end up using these, but I do like these a lot. They're nice and soft and dense. This is a great little detailed pointer for like liner or whatever. And then like for blending out liner or for pinpointed shimmer in the inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight, or to do a lower lash line nice and soft. And this is nice and dense where you can do it in the outer corner to smoke it out. Or for me, because I have almond shaped eyes, it's really nice to use this little soft pointed kind of a fat domed pencil to go in towards the inner part of my eye corner to get color up into the crease without it getting too far down. Because of my almond shaped eyes, I don't have a lot of space there in the front, and so I like using these kind of brushes to get in the inner corner crease area like more detailed instead of it just kind of getting all over the place. And so, yeah, I do really like all of the brushes that came in this set, including the lash curler. I brought the lash curler with me and I did use it, even though I forgot to pack mascara. So yeah, I took these with me, but I didn't use them. Like I didn't use the brushes this time, but I used the lash curler. Here is the BK Beauty 106 brush. I did use this brush. This is my favorite BK Beauty foundation brush and one of my favorite foundation brushes in my collection overall. Yeah, I love this brush so much. It is so good. Anyway, I did use this to buff out my concealer after I had like blended it in with the concealer brush, and I kind of used this just to buff all over my face. So it got used a little bit, but it's not as dirty as if I would have used it like for actual foundation. I didn't bring foundation with me on this trip. So yeah, anyways, I highly recommend the BK Beauty 106. I highly recommend a lot of the BK Beauty brushes, which leads me to this Nikki LaRose N16 concealer brush. I like this for concealer. I like this for eye primer. I also like it for the Makeup by Mario liquid eyeshadows, like the cream eyeshadows that he came out with. I like this brush for all of those things. This is a really good brush. And I specifically like how it's got these little wispies at the end. I'm not sure if you can see. Hopefully you'll be able to see up against my hand. But yeah, those little wispy, kind of like double layer airy bristles there, like that lay off the actual denser part of the bristles, really helps to just provide a nice buffing motion, like a buffing finish to, it just helps to provide a real nice buffing finish to the way the product blends out. And I really appreciate this brush, but I didn't use it this time because I didn't do makeup that often. And so yeah, I'm going to put this one away in my clean brushes. I'm going to try not to spend as much time on the eyeshadow brushes because I just feel like face brushes really need a lot of explanation sometimes for people. Okay, these are the eyeshadow brushes that I used to create my 2 looks. I did 2 makeup looks. I wore makeup 2 times throughout the entire trip, including both days of travel. And so let me separate the brushes that I used from one look to the next. Hold on. Okay, I used this brush for one look. I used this brush here for one look when I wore the Makeup by Mario liquid shadows. I used this to buff it out as well as those 2 concealer brushes that I showed you. That one and this one. So I used all 3 of these as eyeshadow brushes on the one day for the Makeup by Mario liquid shadow. And then all of these brushes here I used for my blue and green colorful look. So let me just tell you what number this one was that I used for the one and done. This is the M332 Eye Blender. And this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a fluffy shadow packer blender. And honestly, I feel like it's very similar to the Rose and Bend, just a little bit smaller. And I'm pretty certain that Singe Beauty also has a brush like that. Let's look here inside this makeup case. This one. The one from Singe Beauty is a little bit fluffier. Yeah, so anyways, I used this to blend out the liquid eyeshadow from Makeup by Mario. Then all of these I used on another day together. I used this one here, the Rose and Bend E27. I've got 2 of them. I used this first one to blend out my black eyeliner that I lined my eyes with. I will be posting a get ready with me from when I was at California on my channel after this video goes up. I just wanted to be perfectly clear that I'm already back home when that video goes live so that nobody thinks that I actually would have posted that video while I am out of town, you know. So I'm going to be posting this unpack my brushes with me video before I do the on location get ready with me. Anyway, so I use this to blend out the black eyeliner that I started my look off with. And then these here, this one I know that these two here, wait, okay, stop, Michelle. I used this brush here from the Ulta Revamped series. This is the Precision Crease 160. I used this to lay down the deep dark shade in my outer crease and to start off the look. I used this Rose and Ben E27 to get like the bright blue in the inner part of my crease, because again, my almond shaped eyes, it makes it hard sometimes to get color in that front part of the eye without it getting all over the place. So here is what that brush looks like. Now let's stick with, I should have probably kept them by group. So yeah, let me just go back. So these are the two Morphe brushes that I used during my eyeshadow looks. This one that I used to blend out shadow on the on my lid is M303 Eye Packer. I did use it as an eye shader. I packed shadow on my lid. And this I kind of use, this is the Rose and Ben E28. This is a fluffy, kind of like a shade, like a shader slash packer, kind of a combo. I really like this brush a lot for various uses. You can use it for shimmer, kind of like a diffused shimmer. You can use it to blend out color. You can use it to like start off your crease if you want a more like blown out crease color. But anyways, it's a great brush. I really love it. I also used this brush here, the C30. This is the Rose and Ben C30. This is meant to be a concealer brush, but I use it for shimmer. I really like it for shimmer. She also uses this as a like a lip brush to clean up around the lip and stuff. But by she, I meant Rose Seard from Rose and Ben Beauty. Anyway, I love this brush for shimmer. I'm not sure if it's back in stock, but if it is, I do recommend pretty much all of the Rose and Ben Beauty brushes. I love them. Okay, so I used this one Sigma brush here, the E42 Precision Firm Blender. I used this to blend out color and to blend out color in my crease for the deeper, darker, more detailed blending. And no, I used this to blend out color like all over the outer edge. And again, this is the Precision Firm Blender from Sigma E42. It's a great little brush. This is my favorite lower lash line brush, the Singe Beauty E07. This brush here, as you can see, is super thin, but not too thin, so that it actually gives you a visible lower lash line color from whatever shade color you're choosing. But it's not so thick that it brings the lower lash line down, the lower lash line eyeshadow too far low. So it's the perfect lower lash line brush. I also really like the width of it this way. It covers enough space to where it doesn't take you forever to line your lower lash line, but it's not so wide that it doesn't, like, it's not so wide that it makes it difficult to follow the curve of my eye. So I really, really like this brush. It's really, really soft too. It's never been scratchy on my eye at all. I love this brush so much. This is my favorite lower lash line brush, Singe Beauty E07. Okay, and this I used as an inner corner highlight color. This is from the like precision set that was released, the second set of eyeshadow brushes that Singe Beauty came out with. This is the F11. I like this for both inner corner, and also you can use it for like deepening up your outer corner. You can also blend out like a softer lower lash line color with this if you want like a slight bit more coverage, to be able to then go into it with a dark shade using, say, this brush with the follow-up shade. But I also used this in my upper brow bone, and it was not too big. So yeah, I like this brush a lot. It's really soft and very dense. So you're able, like, it's not too floofy. It's not too flimsy. It's got some good like density, whereas This other one is very flimsy. Do you see? This one is a lot more sturdy. So it's going to do some precision blending, more buffing and stuff. I really like this brush. It's really great. Okay, and so then the last one that I used is the Singe Beauty E01. This is a great little like shader and like detailed crease work if you want. I love this brush. I used this to put shadow on my lid. Okay, so those are all the brushes that I used for the eyes. Here's the other brushes that I took with me that I thought I might need and I did not use. These right here are my two most favorite and pretty much only quote unquote traditional, well, this one, hold on. Now these also. These four are my only quote unquote traditional blender brushes that I really like. The Morphe M33 Eye Blender, this is a great brush, okay? It's very similar to this brush here, but just a little bit bigger and a little bit more coverage, you see? And this is the Singe Beauty E03. I love this blender so much. This is my #1 top blender in my entire collection that is not Food Aid. Love this brush so much. My next favorite top blender is this one here from Rose and Ben Beauty. This is the, where's a number? There it is. This is the E29. And so, yeah, this is one of the newer blenders in my collection. It's a little bit denser than these other two, but I really like it. And my favorite, like, smaller blender that is kind of in the vein of these over here is this one from the first Nikki LaRose set with BK Beauty. So these four blenders right here are my top favorite blenders. I didn't end up using either of them during this trip, and I'm sorry for all the shadows and stuff. I'm trying to get it to where you can really see the bristles, and I hope that you can. But these are great blenders if you're ever looking for them. Oops, I don't want to mix which ones are dirty with which ones are clean. Dirty, clean. Okay, and so these are the shaders that I took with me. Okay, these are the 3 lid shaders that I took with me that didn't get used. This is the Sephora 08 eyeshadow brush. This is an incredible lid shader brush. I love it. You see how fluffy and angled it is, but thin and like it's kind of dense, but not too dense. And it's not floofy, so, but it's not too stiff either. It is so silky soft. And the way that the bristles are shaped, like the angle of them, it really picks up shimmer really beautifully and lays it down like a dream. Love this eyeshadow shimmer brush so much. Highly recommend. These two brushes here are basically like the same. Yeah, they're basically the same brush and they're both great. The BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A505 and the Singe Beauty F09. This is part of the second set that I bought, and I do enjoy that shimmer brush a lot. All of these brushes here are part of the second set, and the reason I can tell which ones came from the second set is because you can see that the shade of yellow, it may or may not be as obvious on camera, but here in person, these are like 2 totally different shades, in my opinion. This leans more mandarin orange, and this leads more school bus yellow. So honestly, I prefer this because it's a little bit more of like that fiery yellow shade that she described to begin with. And these are a little bit more, like I said, towards canary yellow, school bus, like American school bus yellow. And it's not exactly my favorite shade of yellow. But anyways, I digress. Which one of these was dirty? That one. These are clean. I talked about that one. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so these are part of the second set that I purchased. I do like them. I didn't use them this time. These two I just wiped down to take with me, but I had used them previously. I like them. I like this one for like packing a matte in the shimmer in the crease, and I like this one for blending out kind of like in the outer corner. for not the deepest shade, but like a kind of deeper shade. And this brush here, I like for lining my eyes with shadow. This is my brow brush that I took with me, which is why I didn't need to bring the Real Techniques one. This is the white version of the black one that I purchased, and this is just from the new collection. And I liked that it's in white. This is actually how I ended up purchasing all these other ones. It was because I was just going to go replace my black version of this with the white one so that I would be able to find it more easily. This is the Morphe M402 Brow, and I love, 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 love this brush. The concept, the performance is really great, but honestly, I like the black version of mine better because of this end here on the black version is just a little bit better than it is on this one for me personally, but they're both great. Anyway, this is a little lower lash line packer brush. You can do this with, you can do this for like a matte lower lash line. You can do this also for like a shimmer, detailed shimmer, brow bone highlight, inner lid area with shimmer or matte. You can do a lot of things with this. You can also line the inner part of your crease if you want like a real deep crease accent. This is the M382 from Morphe. And here's the last of the eyeshadow brushes that I took with me and didn't get a chance to use. They're all great and have different uses. This is great for like inner corner detail, brow bone highlight, and lower lash line. It's kind of like a small little nub and very much looks like the one from BK Beauty that's like that. I have 2 of them from BK Beauty because I love them that much, but I haven't found myself reaching for this one. I feel like it's got not enough space from the bristles to where this plastic edge is, and so I prefer the ones from BK Beauty than this one. But anyways, this is the Singe Beauty EO6 and the Singe Beauty EO5, a little small fluffy blender, another little small fluffy blender that's more like domed. This is the Singe Beauty EO2. And this is a great fluffy blender packer or detailed crease blender. This is a Singe Beauty EO4. So those are all the eyeshadow brushes and face brushes that I took with me to go out of town. I hope that you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for helping me unpack my products. I enjoyed going over them with you, and I hope that if you purchase any of these brushes or have any of them in your collection, I hope that you are enjoying them as much as I am, and that you will enjoy them as much as I am if you are looking to purchase them and add them to your collection. So yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much and lets the YouTube algorithm know that you'd like to see my content in your feed. Another way to make sure that you can see my videos in your feed is to make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. It's absolutely free to subscribe to my channel, and that's how you're going to get to see my content in your feed on the regular. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!